Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the topic physical and chemical changes in chapter 2. To understand the basic difference between pure substances and a mixture, let us first understand the difference between physical change and a chemical change. Two categories of changes that substance undergo are classified as physical change and chemical change. So, what is physical change? During a physical change, a substance changes its physical properties such as size, shape, density, and appearance, but there is no change in its chemical composition, and this change is reversible. Now, what are the examples of physical change? Melting of an ice is a physical change because in this change, solid form of water has changed into liquid form, but still it is a water. So basically there is no chemical composition changes. Now next example is tearing of paper into the small pieces. Means we can easily tear this paper into small pieces, but there is no chemical change in it. And blowing of a balloon is also an example of physical change because its size is changing, its shape is changing from smaller to the bigger one, but there is no change in its chemical composition. Now, physical changes having some changing states like melting of ice means solid is changes into the liquid. Similarly, in the freezing, liquid changes to solid, and in vaporization, liquid changes to the gaseous form, and in the condensation, gaseous form changes into the liquid one. In sublimation, solid directly converted into the gaseous form, and in deposition, gas changes into the solid form. So these are the changes states that takes place under the physical change. Now, there are some examples which occur in the nature also, like the water cycle erosion, means soil erosion, are the physical changes that occurs in our environment. Now, what are chemical changes? In the chemical change, a substance changes chemically into a different substance or a substances. Means its composition is changed and new substance is formed that has a different properties and different composition from the original one. And these changes are irreversible. Means we can't revert back. Now, what are the examples of chemical changes? The most famous example is rusting of iron. Basically, its color is changes due to the presence of moisture from the environment. And second one is burning of a paper. Means its paper form is changes into the ash, and we cannot revert back into the paper. Means this ash cannot be revert back into the paper. So its composition is whole change. Similarly, ripening of fruits means a seed is converted into the sweet fruit and it cannot be revert back. It is a reversible and its composition is changed, so it is a chemical change. Similarly, curdling of milk means milk is converted into the curd and its composition is changed, means it is a chemically changed. So these are the examples of the chemical changes, and there are also examples of chemical change that occurs in nature like carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, chemical weathering. In all these changes, the substance changes chemically and having the different composition. Now, what are the evidences of a chemical change? Basically, first one is the change in color. Second one, there may be a release of some gases, or there is a release or absorption of heat also, and there may be a formation of a solid, compound or precipitates. Now these are the few evidences that occurs during the chemical change. Now in this image, is there any chemical change occurring? Let us see. There is a change in color. There is a light or sound effect. Similarly, cracking of a crackers is also a sound effect. Or we are baking something, cooking something. Here, change in a odor or change in a color may be occur. Similarly, in this image, there is also a change in color. See. Now, there are state of changes that occur during the physical change. Means ice, if we melt the ice, it basically forms the liquid, and if liquid evaporates, it changes into the vapor form. So basically solid state change into the liquid one and then changes into the gaseous one from different processes, and this can be revert back like gaseous. When we condense the vapors, it basically changes into the liquid, and if we freeze the liquid, then it will change into the ice form, means solid state. So this is a cycle which shows the changes in different states. So what are the basic difference between physical and chemical change? In the physical change, basically no new substance is formed and no change in the composition. But in the chemical change, there is a change in the properties and composition. And physical change is reversible, but chemical change is irreversible. And it is a reversible, so it is a temporary change. Basically, we can revert back, so it is a temporary change for a limited time. But chemical change is a permanent change. There is a no revert back in this. And here in the physical change, no new substance or substances formed, and in the chemical change there is a new substance formed. So these are the some basic difference between physical change and chemical change. Let us discuss some question like label these A, B, C, D processes occurring in this. So basically A is the solid which changes into the liquid form. So how? It is occurring due to the melting one. So basically D is a melting one. And when liquid changes into the gaseous form, then it can be possible through the evaporation process only. Similarly, if vapor form condensed, then it will change into the liquid, and if we freezes the liquid, then it will change into the solid form. So basically these are the processes occurring during in this image. Let us discuss some more examples like frying an egg is a physical change or a chemical change. You will write in the chat box. This is your work. Similarly, this is also your homework. And now come to the next topic, that is Brownian moment. We have already discussed some characteristics of colloid particles, and in this there is a mechanical properties, and in the mechanical properties we will discuss about the Brownian moment. So basically what is this Brownian moment? The colloidal particles are always in the state of zigzag motion. This is basically a zigzag motion, means there is a no direction, just particles are colliding with each other and movement is occurring. So they never come to the rest. And an English botanist named Robert Brown observed this first time and named it as a Brownian moment of a particle. So how can we define this term? The zigzag movement of a colloidal particle continuing and randomly is known as the Brownian motion or movement. So why it is occurring so? It is arises due to the uneven distribution of the collision between the colloid particles and the solvent molecule. So students, बेसिकली यहाँ पे आपके पास क्या होता है, एक डिस्टर्बेंस है, कॉलिजन्स होता रहता है बेसिकली आपके पास एक पार्टिकल से दूसरे पार्टिकल. तो जब आपका पार्टिकल रेस्ट पे नहीं होगा और कॉलिजन चलते रहेंगे तो यहाँ पे क्या होगी, एक अनइवन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होगी, एक मूवमेंट होगी बच्चे, एक जिगजैग मूवमेंट होगी. और इसी जिगजैग मूवमेंट को हम क्या कहेंगे, ब्राउनियन मूवमेंट कहेंगे. एंड दिस ब्राउनियन मूवमेंट इज मोर रैपिड फॉर द स्मॉलर पार्टिकल्स एंड it also decreases with increase in the viscosity of the medium, because viscosity क्या करेगी, आपके पास विस्कस हो जाएंगे, मीन्स मॉलिक्यूल की स्पीड क्या है, ऑटोमेटिकली स्लो हो जाएगी बच्चे. तो स्लो हो जाएगी तो ब्राउनियन मूवमेंट जो है वो भी आपकी क्या हो जाएगी, इट विल डिक्रीज. सो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज इन दिस इज ऑप्टिकल प्रॉपर्टी, and in this optical property we will discuss a phenomena known as Tyndall effect. So what is this Tyndall effect? Basically, when a strong beam of light passes through a true solution like this, then the path of a beam remains invisible. But if the same beam is allowed to pass through a colloidal sol or a suspension one in the same room, then the path of the beam gets illuminated by a bluish light. So basically what is this? This is due to the Tyndall effect. In this we can define as it is a scattering of light by the particles in a colloid or a suspension particles. Right? Thank you.